What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of JAWS. It is Jason and Ashley. We are excited to be back with you guys and to share, more of our journey. About a year and a half into my recovery journey. Ashley's got over 3 years in Al-Anon and crushing it. But I thought, just coming back, I think it would be best for us to give you an overview of where we are, kind of give you more in an in-depth place. So Ash, do you kind of want to give an update on you and where things are?
Yeah, I think I've gotten into a pretty good routine throughout this whole process, especially during pregnancy. It can throw off a lot of things, and program has to be like number one in my life, or I go into a serious spiral. Like, my stinking thinking is enormous, and that is hard because you have a lot of factors in pregnancy. You're tired, you don't feel well, and so making exercise and meetings a priority is sometimes difficult. But I think I've gotten into a really good routine of making sure this last couple months I've been like consistently waking up at 5:30, working out at least for 30 minutes, whether that be yoga or Peloton, and that's really helped me a lot with my mental health, especially with my eating disorder, which now we have a technical word for it. We call him Ed.
Yeah.
As our therapist has helped us to describe. So if I'm in a moment where I'm feeling very insecure about myself and my body and my weight issues, I can always say like, Ed, it's Ed, he's coming in, so that, it's like a little bit more secretive, where you don't feel like you're having to like out yourself in front of family members or anything else, but it's just like a code word for the two of you. But
it's important for me to understand that, because I did not know. I understood that Ashley struggled, but not to a certain degree, and there were certain behaviors that she would display that would like cause conflict between us. But now when she has that quick word to be able to say, hey, it's like I'm dealing with Ed, I know it sounds like silly, maybe like cheesy, but it really has created better communication for us, and it's really taken some barriers down where we weren't able to communicate before. So even just a simple tool like that has been very helpful when you're in that mode. But I will say, just kudos to you. Ashley is taking the action that is needed to be taken, and I think that again comes from a strong program. She's 8 months pregnant, and she's still up at 5 a.m., gets on her Peloton, does her meetings.
And then I go to a meeting at 6:05 every morning for 1 hour. That's what I was trying to think.
And it's crazy. It's really, it's motivational and inspirational to me to see her do that, because it actually has kicked my butt into gear. And that's where I've actually been slacking, is I was the person that was always up early, and those roles have kind of reversed. And it's a program for both of us, if not attraction, or promotion, but attraction. And it's motivated me to get back on my game, because after we stopped doing the show, a lot happened. Obviously, going through the pregnancy, doing the filming, finishing the filming, getting a new house, having issues with the house when we got it, slab leaks, stuff just breaking, all this different stuff. It's just the life of being a homeowner, and but it's also dealing with some of my own stuff. A lot of the things that have been coming back up for me is I've been working really hard, going to the gym a ton, and I'm still struggling with weight stuff. I'm in a good place, but it's a very frustrating scenario when you're working out 3-4 times a week. You eat decent throughout each the week, but then I still deal with this. It's almost a sugar thing that I have at night, where it's like I'll literally sleepwalk and eat sugar in the middle of the night. And it's something that like I've struggled with, because I'm working my butt off trying to make it to the other end, but I'm really get really down on myself, and it really puts a lot of pressure on me, and it really affects my mood. It tailors in, because especially when you eat like crap at night, especially in the middle of the night, you wake up, it's almost the same feeling as a hangover. So I'm dealing with that, and that's kind of something I've been struggling with for a while, ever since I got sober again. Even prior to that, I've always been love sugar.
Do you think that's because of like your alcoholism? Like, is that like a trait, or do you think it's like more of like an eating disorder issue?
I definitely think there's, from the amount of alcohol I used to drink and consume, which just obviously turns into sugar, my body is probably still craving it to some degree. I used to drink a lot. So I think there's something with that. I've tried all different modalities. Switching, having snacks ready if I wake up, to like be able to go into the fridge and find, but I always am able to go find where Ashley hides stuff and find cookies. But it's something that's real though, because it really impacts, it's minus the weight, it really affects my mental well-being. Not only from just like being being down on myself, but I get brain fog, and it makes the day just a lot harder to go through. And it's weird because I do everything I possibly can in the moment to better myself, but I get into this thing where I probably actually need to get like something done about it. Get research or have somebody do some types of blood studies or something. So
I think we should just talk to our therapist about it too.
Yeah, we have talked about it though, and it's something I still deal with. So I don't know, it may be something I need to take a deeper look at, but you know, those are the things. And Delilah growing up and you know, the stuff that she's going through and being a parent. So there's been a lot that's been going on, and I think that's where it's going to be good for us to be able to have this again with you guys for accountability, because what has also happened is, again, just because we remove the drugs and alcohol doesn't mean that we don't have our issues and our situations. Because again, just last week, Ashley and I went into we had a butted heads really hard, and resentments are building up. And I think that's something that we want to really share about today, is how this is continually takes work. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. I think too, like, I know I keep using, I don't want to use this as like an excuse being pregnant, but I do think there's like a heightened, elevated sense of halt mode, which is what I talked about last season, which is like hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And another aspect of it is hormonal. And so when you're pregnant, your hormones are at an all-time high, and you have this feeling of like continuous FOMO, I feel like, especially in your third trimester. And so I feel like Jason's had the ability to be able to continue to live his life to the full capacity that he gets to. He goes golfing, he, works very hard, but like he gets to go golfing and goes to dinners, and I'm invited to all these things, but at the end of the day, I don't want to go because I'm so exhausted. And then I feel a little resentful because he's still having fun and being able to go out to dinners and have fun with his friends. And I'm over here like the whale that just is, like at SeaWorld, just like flopping around, sad. No, but and that's something that I have to continuously work on and communicate with him about, because I don't want that to be something that I'm holding a resentment for. It's just it's a time in my life where I need to just continuously realize, like, it's such a short time in your life that you're pregnant, and there's so many joys that come after that. And so the FOMO thing of like missing out because I can't do the things that I could do before, or I'm not as fast as I was, or, I just physically am unable to do it. I mean, even like when I drop something on the floor, it's like, rest in peace, I'll see you again in 6 months, because I can't get it. I mean, seriously, unless Delilah's around me, it's like, oh, bye. But that's something that I continuously have to work on, because that is where a lot of my like codependency, resentment stuff like will start kicking in, because I'll be like, well, why does he get to do all these things? And then I go into victim mode, like, woe is me that I have to be this pregnant lady, like walking around, can't have fun and do anything, and like, which is not true. I mean, it's such I'm carrying a baby, like I should be so grateful, but that's where a lot of my disease comes into play, because I start getting really jealous of the fact that he isn't pregnant and I am. So I might have to just buy a belly for him.
But I think that's, and on the flip side, where it's really important, and the feelings are validated, right? I mean, and it's being mindful of that, and I try to be mindful as much as I can to what Ashley's going through, and try to help in certain areas, try to do things for her. But also on the other end, it's like there's this thing called nesting that we're going through right now, which is Ashley is done a phenomenal job, but it looks like 40 bald eagles live in our house, and the whole house is just flipped upside down. And I mean, this is like a real thing, but it's also talk about safety and structure within you want your home to feel like your sanctuary, right? And the last 3.5 months, it's literally like, dude, do I just sleep on the couch? Do I just sleep over in the backyard? Like, I mean, there's just stuff everywhere, because we are redoing the house, but it seems like it's just one thing after another. And there's a lot of resentment that comes from me, is because I'm grateful that she's doing these things, but it also throws me off track. Like, I'm so super OCD, and I like things like in order, like I'm very compartmentalized. Like if you ask me where something is, I know exactly where it is. If you need a file from 2016, I know I can go get it. But, and that's where we're different. And I understand that, but what that has done is I don't communicate. And what we are working on right now is Ashley doesn't have a crystal ball. And there's these things that I know she's going through, but I'm just building up resentments and just kind of like, okay, just do what you need to do, as opposed to like really sitting down and be like, hey, look, like we need to come up with a game plan with this, because it's causing me to have irritability. I'm super uncomfortable with this. This has gone on for months, and that's how long. That's, again, is where drugs and alcohol aren't the problem. It's my behaviors that I'm trying to deal with. That's right between my 2 ears is my brain. I'm still struggling with effective communication, where you think I'd be able to do that, you know, with a year and a half of sobriety almost. And that's still not the case. I'm still working on these things. And the thing is our life's only going to get more chaotic. We have another kid coming, you know, so these are the types of things that we're going to be talking about and moving forward. Bring on the professionals to talk about these things with us, because some of this stuff we don't have all the answers to this. We're here being vulnerable with you guys to share our experience and hopefully some relatability and connection. We want you guys to chime in. Something that we want to do different this season is to have you guys really communicate. So if you're a mom, a dad, if you're an alcoholic, an addict, a codependent, like, write what you're going through, because again, as I'm sure we have gone through something very similar in some facets that we can talk about, try to provide insight. So we want to be able to take your guys' questions, bring them up at the end of each show and talk about them, so we can share what we've gone through or have the professional talk about it. But that's really where we're at, is we're going to get even deeper behind more of the surface levels that comes with alcoholism and addiction and codependency. We're going to go through like really what it is that we're going through on a deeper level on a day-to-day basis. We're going to take notes of the stuff that we're going through, so we're not missing a beat with you guys. And we want this to be one of the, you know, a safe and trusted place that you guys can come to know that there's people walking through this journey with you. And we're excited to take this road with you. So we'll keep you posted on how this whole journey unfolds. The resentments with communication, with babies, you know, addiction and codependency. So join us, and we'll be on this road with you. Have a good day. What up, guys? Thank you for watching another episode of JAWS Diaries. Hey, if you or a loved one is struggling and you guys need some direction, some insight, and you're just lost, please fill out the link below and we'd be happy to help.